Good evening, everybody. Quiet, please. So, first of all, I want to say a very big thank you to Pascal and Philip for coming over to support the UK Blacknose Sheep Society and bringing their knowledge over to the UK. This is the second year they've both been over. Appreciate it very much. What we're going to do is we're going to try and explain to the up. Is that any better? Is that better? Right, so what we're going to do is we're going to take you through the whole grading process, what we're looking for in a black nose. We've got two sheep in front of you. One of them
I don't know. From
and the other sheep has a couple of points off.
what's in front?
So what we're going to do is we're going to explain, hopefully to you breeders going forward, what to select, what to look for, to try and make your flock improve. Pascal and Philip are obviously very, very experienced in the Blacknose world, and the information that they give to us is second to none. You know, this is the guys that have been breeding these sheep in the Alps for many years. I'll hand you over to Pascal, who's just going to talk through the maximum ewe and explain why this ewe deserved the maximum points.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Sorry for my bad English. I want to start with a present for you. When you see here this hall, what you missing? We have the Great Britain flag, the Scottish flag, the North of Ireland flag, but one flag is not there. What do you think? Which flag is not there? So, we hope in the next year when we come from these beautiful sheep, this flag is on the hall. After this presentation, you can ask Philip and me, but Jenny McAllister come to the ring for translate. We have here two sheep. One sheep is 2 years old and one sheep is 1.5 years old. The maximum points is 555, 15 points. This beautiful sheep make the maximum points 555. Why? She have a beautiful head, a wonderful black color on the nose, the legs and the feet. She have a beautiful body, a perfect wool, and the stand and the gait from this sheep is very special. And for 2 years old, she is a very big sheep. Then on the other side, we have a sheep. She's 6 months younger, and she make the points 444. She have 2 points off. Why? His nose is a little bit too pointed, and she is a little bit brown. It's not gray, but it's brown. And for a sheep with 18 months old, we want black noses and black points. These sheep have a very good quality of wool, a long wool, and she's very good curly. Then the other point of the second position, the other point of, she walk not perfect. You can see here the stand, and when he walk, yeah. And we must say the quality from this show, from here in Great Britain, the quality of the sheep is very high. And we are every year happy when we come here to us, to you, for grading these beautiful Valais Blacknose sheep. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Pascal, for all that knowledge shared. What we're going to do now is we're going to take questions from the breeders and the people here. If you've got any questions you want to ask that you're not familiar with sheep, don't be afraid, it can be anything. Up to you guys what you want to talk about. So we're here to share the information that we've learned over the years with the experts. So yeah, anyone got any questions? Mel.
Hi, I just wondered if you deduct points for horn quality. I had one that popped a horn bud out when it was young, so it's blunt at one end. Will that affect it?
Right, so Pascal, do you deduct points if they damage a horn? Broken.
So the overall impact, it's better when the sheep have good horns, and horns go in the high. But when it's young and the horn is broken, it's for us not a point off for this sheep. For the grade, but for the ranking, when we have another one sheep with perfect horns, he have the place before this sheep.
Yeah, so what Pascal's saying is basically if the sheep breaks a horn whilst grading, they won't deduct a point. But when it comes to being shown with a sheep with the same points, they'll obviously take it into consideration that the one that hasn't got the broken horn with the same points will obviously have the overall better appearance. Answered. Good, good. Anyone else?
With the browning, is it genetics or is it deficiency? Is it feed? Is it weather conditions?
So with the browning in the face, there's two sides to it. There's UV, the sun, can tinge the end bits, but if it's black to the skin, it's different. So if it's black to the skin, it's perfectly fine. If it's just UV that's browning it, it's you know, it's something we can't help. A lot of it.
When the Valais Blacknose sheep comes older, it's normality he have not the same color when he's young. So from 2 to 3 years, the black nose is better when it's black. And when he comes older, 4 or 5 or 6 years old, it's normality and it's okay when it's a little bit gray. But when you have a lamb, 6 months or a 1 year old sheep, he must, the color must say I'm black. Yeah. And Jamie said is right, when the tips a little bit it's brown, it's maybe from the sun.
Okay, does that answer the question? So basically, if the tips of the black in the face have an orange glow, it can be the UV. But especially on younger sheep, it should be black. The older they get, they change colour. But what you want in a younger sheep is not to have this orange glow. But if it's black to the skin, it's the UV on the tips that usually does it.
He asked for genetic.
Yeah.
And when the mother or the father is grey with 1 year old, that's normally genetic. The lambs from there comes too grey, too early.
So what we're saying is basically, if you've got a young sheep and it's already got the grey and the colour, it's a genetic thing. There's a big difference between the sun and the UV to a young sheep already having grey and having that orange in the fleece, in the face. Yeah. Any other questions?
Hi, why don't you pay more attention to the mouths and the shoulders of the sheep? Because the bad mouths are a huge problem in the Valais breed. Why don't you check these?
So the Mows and the Blacknose sheep are a bit like the Leicesters in the world with a Roman nose. Yeah? So obviously the Swiss have been breeding these sheep for 300 years, and they're showed primarily because they're an ornamental sheep. They're a show sheep, not a commercial world that we're all used to in the UK. And to select a sheep, right, by its mouth, you would lose the years of history that's been put into them. And I think Pascal will explain this, but in Switzerland, if they have good teeth when they're lambs to the age of 18 in Switzerland, anything over 18, they don't check the mouth because they can alter, they can change, and they don't want to lose the genetics and the look and the appearance of this sheep by selecting it just for its mouth. In the UK, we are very much mouth with everything. Yeah, they need the mouths for eating. The blue-faced Leicesters tried for years and their mouths are still, hard to get correct. I'll pass you on to Pascal, he'll explain. So what Pascal's basically saying is that they check the mouths in Switzerland to the age of 18 months, okay? After 18, they don't, because with an aged sheep, a bit like humans, your teeth alter, change, whatever. But what they're saying is that they don't want really bad mouths to where they can't eat. So there's a fine line involved with a really bad mouth or a bad mouth. I suppose it's years of breeding that's going to be genetically in that, because we've inherited those sheep. Well, if you're breeding something that can't survive on its own, yeah, but it depends what you want to keep. You want to keep a sheep with a good mouth, but looks awful, wool, whatever, or you're going to keep something with a correct mouth that doesn't have the Swiss appearance, no wool, no nothing. It's an inherited thing.
20 years before.
Yeah. It's coming back, yeah. So Pascal's basically saying 20 years ago they started to really hammer the teeth, because over the years prior to that, there was no concern. But the problem they've got now is it's in the genetics. So it's going to keep cropping up. Yeah. It's a tricky one because it's something we've inherited over here, you know, and we can't solve it in a matter of 5 years. It's going to take generations. Any other questions? Which one? Ip dip.
So this lady would like to know if the wool, when it goes very frizzy, as opposed to not being able to see the skin,
Right.
is something you look at to see what they think.
So what they're saying, Pascal and Philip, is when the wool goes frizzy, is that a genetic thing or? Yeah. So when you're looking at wool, is the frizziness a bad thing, even though you can get to the skin? Is that bad if the sheep's wool's frizzy? Is that a point off, even though you can see the skin? Yeah. Yeah.
And it's not an open wool. It's not a.
Yeah. So it felts quick. Yeah. So basically, that's quite a tricky one, that. Yeah. Well done. So yeah, there's different types of wool. You want an open fleece where you can hit the skin. But what you don't want is a frizzy wool, even though you can get to the skin. You want an open fleece with volume and a look about it. Yeah. Because every year this wool on aged sheep downgrades. Yeah. So it starts at lamb's wool's really nice, long, and every year it gets coarser. And if you've got coarse wool in a young sheep already, by the time she's 2, it's going to be a frizz ball. Yeah.
Question about tail docking. If a person tail docks too short or too long, does that count against you?
Good question. So, tail docking. What is the ideal height for tail docking, Pascal and Philip? Where do you cut the tail? So in an ideal world, tail docking is usually right at the top of the black markings, but black markings can be big, small.
She's alone.
Right. So Pascal's saying back in Switzerland when he docks his lambs, it's 2 fingers above the knees. So this one, he says, is perfect.
A grading position where we want it's too long to put. And in Switzerland, you must have 15 centimeters.
Right. So in Switzerland, it must have 15 centimeters minimum tail length, but there isn't actually a yes or a no tail docking, as long as it's around that area. Your other question, I thought the pair of you had one.
If they have a black spot on their body, does that count against them?
A black spot on the body. So a black spot on the body does count as a point off. With the males, it can't be above the skirt.
So, for black spots in the body, we turn the sheep. We have a line. And the line is from here to here. So with the rams, all spokes, this over this line is for kickoff. In the first position, the point 1. And all under this line all is 1 point off. And with the female sheeps, over this line is 1 point off. But with the rams, over this line is not for breeding.
So anything on a male above the skirt, if you can imagine the sheep wearing a kilt all the way around, anything above on a male is slaughter. Not a nice word, but that's the breed standards. And in a female, a spot above there is 1 point off. Anybody else?
On the nose shape you mentioned between the two sheep,
Yeah.
the one on the right was pulled back. Could you just show us a bit more, explain a bit more about the shape there?
Yeah. Philip, Pascal, what this gentleman's asking is, can you show what a Roman nose, what a nose should look like, and explain about the nose? Yeah.
The sheep moves natural. It's a natural.
I think they're asking about the Roman,
No, not wood.
not the wool,
Not the wool.
nose. Yeah.
So easy for.
Well, if we can do that, we'll see the difference. Yeah. So, in the black nose, the question was, what should a nose look like on a black nose? In a black nose, you're looking for this Roman nose. This ewe here carries a nice Roman nose. This ewe here has more of a pointed nose. But also what makes a nose more defined is the wool, natural wool around the face. She doesn't have the wool around the face, and this lady does. So that, Eliza, if you just stand that, so you can see the difference on a side profile. If you just, you see that now? Yeah? Yeah. Yeah. And also about the width of the nose as well. If you have a thin nose, it's more pointy. If you have a wider nose, it's rounder.
How long and curly should their fringe be?
How long should the head wool be? But the head wool should be consistent with the body wool. So you want the same wool on the head as the body. Sometimes people that don't have that wool in the head will leave a lot more wool when shearing, which is then when we go into last year's wool to compensate the wool on the head. What you want is this season's wool on the head.
The same wool.
Yeah. So the same wool on the body as on the head. So you want a natural sheep that has the same consistent wool from the toes to the nose, basically. Any more questions?
Should we be brushing fringes and legs out before shows and grading?
That's a good one. Should they be brushing fringes and legs before a show?
It's a very good question. All shepherds have tips and tricks, and so when you brush You can. It's better when you not brush when the wool is. We zeggen we droog? Wet. Nee, no, wet is not. Dry. When the wool is dry, you must not brush. Then when you brush, when the wool is dry, it's not naturality. It's going to freeze. And when you brush, when the wool is wet, then you have after the curlies. So this wool is dry. And when you here brush, you have the curlies go out. But on the head, when he's wet and you brush, you have the same curlies after when the wool is dry.
So basically, you've got to work out what type of wool your sheep's got as well. If it's very locky and very curly, you have to be careful that you don't overbrush it to change and alter the wool on the head compared to its body. If you've got more of a sort of, this girl here's got lovely curly fleece. This is more straighter fringe, more of a curl. So you've got to be careful that you don't alter the appearance of that head compared to the body. Yeah, so Pascal's just finishing off what I was saying, that every sheep's got different wool, and you have to treat that sheep with the wool that it has. You can't treat every sheep the same. If you brush out a head on a sheep that's got very curly wool, you're going to alter its appearance. Good question, though. Anybody else? Any questions?
Spots on used bums. Yeah. So you know you've got the white line, or the pencil width, isn't it? Pencil width, yeah. But I've got a ewe with a white tail, but there's black hair growing out of it. But when they're sheared, they've got a white tail or a pencil line, and then when you look now,
yeah. So they're asking about the black bum on a female, about the pencil width coming down through. But if there's hairs there, do you take a point off? Because when they shear them, there's a white line. It's all about, the pencil width is basically you have to have a clear line of white straight through.
It's right what she said. It's not easy when you control this, and in the wool, it's good, it's not good. And you think you cannot say it's good, it's not good.
Yeah.
Then we give not a point. Yeah. We
if you,
it's okay.
Yeah. So if what Pascal's trying to explain is that it's difficult to see this white line sometimes when they're fully fleeced. Okay? So yeah, you do get a good sight of it once they're sheared, right? But if the overall sheep is very good, and it might be, might not be, might be, they'll give it the benefit of the doubt. But if it's a sheep that's already got points off or whatever, that'll be included. It's a tricky one because sometimes you have to look, and if you're looking and looking and looking and you can't define whether it is or it isn't, if it's an overall excellent sheep, you'll give it the benefit of the doubt. Yeah? So it's very normal in the grading team to say, no, it's not, yes, it is, no, it's not, yes, it is. So you give it the benefit of the doubt. And there's quite a few of this. You know, there's a lot of this happens with the bums. Yeah. Any more questions?
felting of the fleeces.
Yeah.
I feel like after they're fine, bath them, like I've shown the sheep in July.
Yeah.
That one's beautiful.
Yeah, yeah. So in Switzerland, and this is something that a lot of people ask. In Switzerland, they only ever wash their sheep once and then shear them, because every time you wash a sheep, you're taking the oils out, the stuff that protects the wool. And depending on the type of wool, the minute you wash them, they will start felting. So washing and washing and washing is not good for the wool.
Earlier in the year, and you bathed them for that show, is it better to leave them for the grading and just have them dirty and
So if you're selecting a sheep for a show, you don't want to wash it months prior to the show, because you're taking the oils out of the fleece. So if you want a sheep to go to a certain show, they always look dirty when they're full of lanolin, because that oil picks up all the dirt. But when you wash them, it comes out a lot better than a clean sheep. A clean sheep will always get dirtier, but you can't get it white. So if you leave that oil in the wool, they'll be cleaner. Don't bath.
When you every week wash the sheep, the oil go out and the quality from the wool goes off. And then you have not a natural wool. So when you shear the sheep in February and you have the show in August or in September, maybe you can 2 times wash the sheep, but not with shampoo, only with warm water for go the in water, out water, and not with shampoo. 1 day or 2 days for the show, you can wash with warm water and with shampoo, and then you have the best quality from the wool.
Does that explain? Is that a good explanation? Does that help? Yeah, yeah. Robert.
What is Pascal's opinion on how the UK producers of the Valais Blacknose could improve their stock to benefit the breed to the best?
So Pascal Roberts asking a question: what do you think the UK should do to improve the black nose? Is it the wool, the conformation, or so? Let's skip back and go all the way back to when we first got the breed over to the UK. The Swiss weren't going to give us the best sheep, were you? So the majority of the sheep that came over to the UK had faults, yeah? Shepherds don't need it, that can go to the UK, blah, blah, blah. So in hindsight, what we've had to do is try and start from the beginning again and select and improve. But the conformation obviously is the biggest problem over here, because the sheep that we got from the Swiss had bad conformation.
When you have 3, 4, 5 females, the conformation is not perfect.
So what Pascal's saying is that what is very important is that the conformation is exceptional on the ram. The female, it's not so important, but the male must be very good conformation, because his genetics are more important than a female's, without being sexist. Any more questions? What's the most important feature in a confirmation, Pascal and Philip? What's the most important thing in confirmation? The walk, the bounce, shoulders. Is it the walk?
When he had a good back, she is round.
Yeah.
And then it's automatically she walks better. Then she is in the back.
Yeah.
Not good. It stands.
Yeah. So basically, a good level back on the sheep will give it more of a better gait on the rear. The Blacknose, as you well know, has a few issues with the walk. Yeah, a narrow gait, a level back. Maybe you can explain this a bit more than me, Pascal. The legs, the back, the shoulders. What's most important? Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. And it's narrow.
Yeah. So the shoulders are obviously very important, as we well know in sheep. A wide shoulder, straight legs, a narrow shoulder. If you stand these two sheep together, you can just about see it straight away. You've got a wide shoulder and a narrow shoulder on this ewe. So the confirmation, there's quite a few things in the confirmation of a Blacknose, obviously, that there are the historic issues that they have, but there's also issues that you can breed out. There's things that you can breed in, but a good wide open chest and a wide open gait is important in the Blacknose. Any more questions? Anyone else? You're bound to have another.
Sorry? What's wrong?
Another question?
Well, just about the shoulders, the slack shoulders in the breed.
Yeah.
And the narrowness of the front legs.
Yeah. I mean, you can see it in these two. You can see them in these two. The power in the shoulders and the one on the left, lacking the power on the right. And you can see it in the chest as well. Big, powerful chest, just lacking that.
And these guys are hot on that.
Yeah. So this you got points deducted today for exactly that. Yeah. Yeah. So you can kind of, what Pascal's saying is you can kind of see as soon as the sheep comes into the ring, within seconds you can see that it's got an narrow gait on it. Yeah. Compared to a good open.
The confirmation, in these guys' opinion, that's more important than the rule and other aspects of do they value the confirmation?
That's a good question.
Shoot a football between, then it's good.
Yeah. So Pascal's saying, being a Manchester United supporter, if you can kick a football between the legs, it's good. Only when Newcastle aren't playing them, obviously. But yeah, confirmation obviously is very important in a sheep, any breed of sheep. That's a very good question. Does the fact that this breed, being a mountain sheep, climbing steeper ground, rocks, always on slopes. Do you think that affects this breed being on the flat?
So if you imagine the sheep's always climbing, he thinks that it gets more powerful from being in the mountain to being on the flat. No. Yeah.
So the answer to that was no, because they have them down on the flats and they're as good as the... Well, if you think about it, we've only had these since 2013. They're not going to alter that much in that time, but they say it doesn't affect the conformation or the size from being in the mountains. If anything, they probably lose more because they're climbing. Yeah. So the question was, do they send them to the mountains? These guys in Switzerland can graze above 3,000 meters, above glaciers. If it's a hot day, they'll just go higher. Majority of the Blacknose are out in the Alps in the summer and they're inside in the winter. From the month of April from November all the way through till March. Yeah. Yeah.
But every year could be different because of weather. Yeah. So this year.
So this year in Switzerland, they actually got caught out in the spring there. They put the sheep out, and then they had the biggest snowfall they've had on record, and a lot of the sheep had to come back down in. So it's kind of, they'll put them out into the local pastures and wait until the weather does break, and then they're off. Yeah. Can a sheep be penalised for being overweight, too big, too fat, too much?
Can a sheep be penalised for being too, like, do you get points off for being too fat?
Oh, point off when it's too much meat.
Would you give a point off if the sheep is obese, too fat?
Yes, but it's better when more volume.
Like me.
So Robert's going to demonstrate something that's carrying too much weight. Yeah. So this is a ram that's carrying too much weight. Yeah. Fat, sorry. Not meat. Robert was asking, do you get a point off for having a sheep that's too big, too fat, carrying too much weight? And the answer is no. Bigger the better.
How do the sheep here compare weight-wise?
How do the sheep compare weight-wise compared to Switzerland? As in, are our sheep heavier, bigger, or smaller? Yeah, to the Swiss sheep. The same, or?
It's a little bit genetics. From the lower of the cover. And you cannot say here in Great Britain the sheep are smaller or bigger than in Switzerland.
Yeah.
We have from all.
Yeah.
Here and reverse.
So the question was, are the sheep in Switzerland bigger in size, conformation, than the sheep in the UK? And I think the answer was all the sheep are different sizes. different conformations. So I think pretty much the same. Big sheep, small sheep, all different sizes, yeah. Any more questions? There's bound to be some up there somewhere. Right, let's go in here. Into the maximum pen.
Do the sheep need any special minerals?
Do the sheep need any special minerals? Minerals. Yes, they do. In Switzerland, being in the Alps, they have a lot of minerals in the ground, but they also feed a lot of minerals like we do with feed rations, salt blocks. Yeah, exactly. So in the winter, they give them Himalayan rock salt, kind of salt stones. Yeah, a bit like what I think the majority of people here. It's very important to have these minerals for the sheep, especially when they're housed where they can't get it naturally.
It's better when you give more minerals. It's the same with the other ones too.
So it's best to give the minerals as well before lambing, because obviously that's when they're utilising all the minerals into the lambs and everything. So it's a very important thing that, you know, your sheep do get the minerals that they need. And everyone in different parts of the country lack different minerals. We all know about bolusing sheep. There's certain parts of the country that lack copper, some parts selenium. So yeah, it's important to give the minerals. Any more questions? We need some more American questions. Is that it? Mel loves a question.
Multiple births. Do they get triplets or
Multiple births. Multiple births. Do you get sheep that have more than 3 lambs? Or is it 1 lamb?
The best is 1 lamb.
1 lamb.
And then the sheep have enough milk. But when you have
next year.
Yeah, 1 lamb's best.
Yeah, but when you have 2 lambs, what you won't make.
So the best obviously is 1 lamb, 2 lambs if she's got lots of milk. If she hasn't got any milk, 1 lamb. Multiple, you don't really want multiple in the black nose. They're not big, massive milkers. I always think 1 lamb's good for a black nose. I think Raymond's come into the ring. And Raymond's got a very big question. Now we all have to be very careful because Raymond does ask some peculiar questions.
Right, no, thank you very much, guys. I think we've got to wrap it up. It's finished. You're going to get a beer. 2 beers for the judges and graders. No, there you go. We have a presentation for our graders. Can I have a round of applause, guys? And a big thank you. Okay, has anybody got a question? Yeah. So, Pascal and Philip, if you can understand Philip, you can go and have a wee chat with Philip and Pascal. If you want to take them down the pens, if you're okay to look at sheep after. Yeah? It's good. And it's actually quite good with Philip. The more few beers you have, the more you understand. Yes?
When the shepherds have questions with the sheep,
if you've got questions, it's very welcome to go and don't be shy, go speak to Pascal or Philip and that. They're quite happy to explain things with your sheep and that, and you'll learn, these guys you'll learn a lot off of. So can I just say a big thank you for everybody's turning out the sheep, Phil and Jamie's sheep out here, and well done. Thanks, guys.